It's the extra yard here on the 5 Reasons Sports Network and 3 yards per carry. And you can call this one the extra yard because we don't usually go on twice a week, but we had to do double duty because, as we mentioned on Monday, and I'm Alex Donno alongside former Miami Dolphin Troy Stradford, we mentioned on Monday, not knowing what the quarterback situation was going to look like on Monday, that we were going to have to come back on Thursday today when we had a better idea. And boy, it's not looking good, Troy.
No, it's not looking good. The number one quarterback for the Miami Dolphins, the one who has had the most success throughout this season, will not be available, and that's Tua. Now we have to deal with that. So how do you deal with that? And we'll get into how do you deal with that. 3-4 days ago, I was sitting there saying, "Oh my goodness, the Miami Dolphins have no shot whatsoever without Tua under center." Now I'm sitting there saying, "Okay, this is the challenge that I think every individual, Donald, in life they want to face, where they can overcome the odds."
Yeah.
Or the odds. And we have seen countless incredible upsets in any sport, and this is the Dolphins' opportunity to do that.
Well, it sure is, because not only are they without their number one quarterback, it sounds like number two is not ready to go either. And number three, Skylar Thompson, who did manage to beat the Jets last week. That certainly, didn't have as much to do with him, although he didn't throw any interceptions, which was good. But Skylar was on a winning team as the starting quarterback this past weekend against the Jets. And so it's going to be Skylar against Josh Allen in Buffalo. And, Troy, we talked about the betting odds on Monday. I had wrongly assumed that being without Tua was already priced in when the Dolphins were 10.5-point underdogs. Now, maybe
it was not.
No, it wasn't. Now, maybe the odds makers didn't imagine that Tua and Teddy would not be able to go, because now that we know Skylar Thompson is preparing to be the starting quarterback for this week, the Dolphins, who were 10.5-point dogs on Monday, are now 13-point underdogs on Sunday, today, for Sunday, I should say. There are no other double-digit underdogs on the table for this weekend. The Seahawks are the closest at plus 9.5. The Dolphins are 13-point dogs against Buffalo. So you talk about what an underdog story it would be. Yeah, Vegas is expecting Miami to get blown out this week.
And we must say, Vegas kind of knows what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
Vegas, for some reason, it amazes me how they're always on point. Okay? They're always on point. So Miami Dolphins have no chance this weekend going up to Buffalo and playing this game, correct?
That's what they tell me. Yeah. I don't know if that's true, but that's what they tell me.
That's what everyone tells me. I believe it is the biggest challenge. I'm not saying that the Miami Dolphins could pull this off, but I am saying this is the biggest challenge for offensive coordinator, head coach, all of those guys on the offensive side of the ball, defense coordinator, defense overall. It is a big challenge for them. And athletes, they love to accept any challenge and every challenge. The Miami Dolphins beat Buffalo the first go. They could have or should have beaten them the second time. Miami Dolphins are not afraid of the Buffalo Bills. Now, is it a shock that, okay, Tua is not going to be able to go? Okay, I give you that.
Yeah.
But then once you realize that and you deal with that and you kind of like filter that through the brain, you're like, what are we going to do? Miami Dolphins, that staff, they have to come up with a way to beat the Buffalo Bills. And
now, okay, so tell me, how does that go, Troy? Tell me, how do you, when you are playing with a very inexperienced quarterback this is going to be the biggest game of Skylar Thompson's life.
Correct.
Also, we're still very uncertain on Raheem Mostert, who's been your top running back for most of the year. I think Teron Armstead hopefully will be back on the offensive line, which could make a big difference if he's available to play. So what's the biggest challenge here for Miami's coaches? Like, how does Mike McDaniel scheme around this, and how does he approach this weekend?
All right. It's a number of ways that you have to do this and go about this. The Miami Dolphins, number one, you cannot turn the football over. Okay? Skylar Thompson, any of the running backs, wide receivers, fumbles, anything like that, interceptions, strip sacks, you cannot have that in this game. All right? That's number
Right.
one. Number two, the Miami Dolphins need to come up with, it's hard to come up with five, but I'm going to say five. They need to come up with five plays that they are so confident in that they could call at any moment and get a big play, whether it's 30 yards, 40, 50, touchdown. It could be 7 yards, as long as it's a touchdown, right?
Hmm.
And when you're doing that, you have to make sure that it's not going to be based out of your traditional offensive set. I'm talking about, and I hate to use the word trick, but the Miami Dolphins need to have five plays that they have up their sleeve that the Buffalo Bills have
Hmm.
never seen
Hmm.
on tape anywhere. And when the moment is right, whatever the situation is, you call that play. Let's go back to the Wildcat with the Miami Dolphins, right? Against the New England Patriots years ago. Ricky
Right.
Williams, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
They have to have at least five of those plays in their playbook because, in my opinion, and I could be wrong, but in my opinion, you can't sit and rely on Skylar Thompson to win you this football game.
Right.
So you need to come up with something that the Buffalo Bills have never seen, and they go, "Oh my goodness! Like, what is going on?" You get miscommunication in their secondary, their linebackers, or whatever, and you get a score on a play that you have been working out for a long time. So that's number two. Number three, the Miami Dolphins, they cannot allow Josh Allen to improvise. And when I mean that, if you go over the last couple of years, Josh Allen has been able to dismantle the Miami Dolphins, stick that knife in them, twist it on a play where he's improvising,
Yeah.
where he makes something out of nothing. When the Miami Dolphins almost had that sack, Miami Dolphins in the red zone playing pretty good defense, but somehow, some way, he escapes that. So I'm sitting there saying, I don't know if they changed their strategy, not blitzing as much, but the Miami Dolphins need to force Josh Allen to beat them in the pocket, stay in the pocket, don't send extra rushers, and play good defense in the secondary, and they have an opportunity. So those are three things that I see that the Miami Dolphins have to and need to do to possibly win this game.
That is well said. And let me throw in something that this can only be good news for Miami. I was just looking at the Buffalo weather this weekend, Troy, and I think this is about as nice of a day as you could even possibly have in mid-January in Buffalo, New York. 31 degrees, mostly sunny skies, no precipitation expected, so it's not going to be snowing and they're not going to be throwing
Perfect.
those snowballs at you. Man, that's to be 31 degrees in Buffalo in January. That's not so bad at all.
I'll take that. 31
Yeah.
degrees. I'm sitting there saying, all right, I'm wearing my short sleeves. I'm
Yeah.
going out there. I'm going to ball. I'm not worried about the cold. So I like the weather forecast for this game. And trust me, the Buffalo Bills wish it was colder,
Yes.
more
They wish it was
dangerous,
snowing.
hazard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely, they do. So that's a plus for the Miami Dolphins. And again, I'll say it, the Miami Dolphins, they're not afraid of the Buffalo Bills. I mean, fully staffed. I'm sitting there. That point spread would not be 13 and a half, right?
Right. It would be
It'd be three
probably three
points,
and a
two
half. Yeah.
points either
Yeah.
way, some way, somehow. So what I like is the fact that Skylar Thompson, we talked about this. he first got into a game unexpectedly. That's a lot to just that's just a lot on a young quarterback, especially a rookie quarterback. Then he had his first start. He did not turn over the football. Now he's going into his third start with an entire week to prepare for this game. It's the job of the coaches to come up with execution and figure out how could we utilize his talents, his skills to keep him out of trouble and to make big plays for the Miami Dolphins. And then I go back to the 5 plays. The Miami Dolphins need 5 plays where we're talking next week saying, I never seen that play from the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
They've never run that play before. Exactly. And if that happens for the Miami Dolphins, who knows? Anything can happen. Anything can happen.
We are brought to you by Prize Picks. So, guys, you have to take advantage. PrizePicks.com or the Prize Picks mobile app. We're making money on Prize Picks. Troy's been making money. People who have found Prize Picks are having fun and making money. So you sign up, and by the way, it's fully legal in Florida, fully legal. You sign up at prizepicks.com or the Prize Picks mobile app. It takes just minutes to sign up. And then when you sign up, use our code 5 FIVE. And when you use our code 5, and it's very clear, they're going to ask you, do you have a promo code? You do. It's 5 FIVE. They're going to double your first deposit up to $100. You deposit $100, they give you an extra $100 right into your account for free, just for signing up. And you simply, when you're in there, this is addicting and it's fun. Before every game, you simply select 2, 3, 4, 5 players and predict if they're going to go over or under their stat projections. And if you get all your predictions right, you're winning real money, guys. And you can mix and match. You can have a couple of NFL players in the playoffs this weekend, throw in a couple of hockey players, a couple of NBA players, and you can jumble those up and mix and match those however you want to. And it's fun. Troy and I have become addicted to this. We've been playing all season. PrizePicks.com or the PrizePicks mobile app. Our code is 5 FIVE. And hopefully, Troy, at some point before Sunday, they put some Dolphins in the mix for this week, because I'm looking up receiving projections, rushing projections, passing. Since we're just so unclear on who's going to play and who isn't, they haven't I haven't seen a number. I'm sure they're going to throw something up before Sunday, but they've got Bills players on the list like Josh Allen, Singletary, Diggs. They got the Bills players up there. There are no Dolphins players on the board as of right now, and it goes to show you how decimated this team is right now,
and how they have no idea as well.
Yeah,
and that's why I'm sitting here saying, as a player, you're sitting in that locker room saying, we still got a game. Coaches, every coach I ever played for said, they still got to kick the football off, right? We still got to play this game. Let's go out there. And like I said before, we've seen many upsets before. Miami Dolphins, flat out, should not win this game Sunday against the Buffalo Bills. But if they do, who knows what happens after that? I think we're going to see a version of the Wildcat, like Tyreek taking a snap or Waddle taking a snap, someone other than the quarterback taking a snap. We're going to see quick throws where Skylar Thompson doesn't have to sit back there in the pocket for 5 to 7 seconds and try and find an open wide receiver. It's going to be, hey, let's see if these guys could tackle really well. Let's get that ball out there quick and get on the move with all of the speed that we have. A key here is how healthy is Tyreek Hill, right? How healthy is Jalen Waddle? Because they both came up nicked in the last
game.
How
many times? Hill left the last game at least 2 times. He left the game and returned.
Right. So I think that's, at this point, knowing that we're playing without Tua, at this point, I'm saying the biggest question mark is how healthy are those shiny toys? You need those shiny toys to win this football game. And of course, you can always throw in there the Miami Dolphins. You have to find a way to control the clock, right? The time of possession. They can't give up big plays. They can't make big plays. They got to methodically win this football game. And I look forward to watching it. I really do.
How different is the quarterback room going to look next year? Because to
A
me,
lot.
unfortunately, it seems like a pretty easy decision not to bring Teddy Bridgewater back. He's on a 1-year deal, so I don't see any way they re-sign him because he's got one job, and that's just to be available, right? Like his only job is, hey, you're our veteran backup. If and when Tua misses time, we need you to play, and he hasn't been available. Now,
Correct.
obviously, you've had the same issue with your starting quarterback. I mean, Tua
Correct.
has not only missed time every season in the NFL to this point, but missed time in his final 2 college seasons. So you're talking about 5 years when he's not been available for a full set of games. It's a problem. I know that, everyone loves Tua down here, and you hate to, well, not everyone, there's the haters out there, but most everyone loves Tua, and like you hate to hear it because when they drafted this guy, he's supposed to be the savior of the franchise, but unfortunately he's missed time, if not significant time, every single season in the NFL. So like, what do you do, Troy? Because I'm not saying you trade Tua or cut him or anything, but you've got to have, I think you look at some of the veterans that are going to be available this offseason. Derek Carr just sent his farewell letter to Raiders fans. Do you think about Tom Brady, who's going to be available? Obviously the Dolphins have tried to get him here before. Do you think about Aaron Rodgers? Do you think about Jimmy Garoppolo, who's very familiar with the Miami Dolphins coaching staff? Right. So, you maybe keep Tua around and just kind of see how he does and what sort of prognosis he gets on this concussion situation, but don't you have to go out there and try to get a veteran starting caliber quarterback?
Absolutely. I go back to, I believe this Miami Dolphins team is built currently to win. To
Yeah.
win. They are built now to win. And yes, they have a relatively young team, but they have a lot of talent on that football team. And so the windows in professional sports, they don't stay open that long. And so you have to take advantage of when that window is open, right? And you got to get in there and you got to do some things. So I'm sitting here and I'm saying, what are the Miami Dolphins going to do? This is a very difficult decision to make. But the parameters that you put on Teddy Bridgewater, the backup quarterback, you're not available.
Yeah.
You're not available. You can't help us. With Tua, I look at the organization and I go, it's not fair to the organization. It's not fair to all the players on this football team. It's not fair to the coaching staff that if you go into another offseason as a Miami Dolphin fan or whatever, and all of a sudden, week 1, week 2, week 3, Tua goes down again, shame on you for allowing that to happen without any like backup ammunition. I believe, and I just got to say it because I truly believe it. I believe Tom Brady being an unrestricted free agent, there's a good chance he could be the quarterback of the Miami Dolphins.
I
I
would
don't
love
know
that.
if,
I would love
oh,
it.
I think we all would love that. I think that
I
he
don't
could
know,
run.
man. I every time I am unapologetic about my respect for Tom Brady, and every time I bring him up, a lot of Dolphin fans are like, "Bro, I hate this guy's the enemy. Why would you want
Yeah,
Brady?"
but let him come to your team.
Yeah,
I mean, look, Tom Brady has thrown the most passes this year, had the most completions this year, and he's the oldest quarterback, from my knowledge,
ever.
in the National Football League. Ever?
Ever,
I didn't even know it was ever.
I think ever. Like I don't know. I can't speak for
Okay.
like the 30s and 40s or whatever,
Okay.
but I'm pretty sure he's the old, at least starting quarterback. I think he's the oldest ever.
I don't see him going back with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They got to do a lot of things. There is a connection here with the Miami Dolphins, the owner of the Miami Dolphins, Stephen Ross, all of that stuff, the Michigan alum. And we got into trouble flirting with him
Yeah,
a
you
couple
know what?
years
We've
ago.
already gotten in trouble for trying to get him. We might as well get him, right? I mean, we've already been punished for it. You might as well get him now.
He would be number one. Number two would be Aaron Rodgers, right?
Yeah,
Aaron Rodgers, I think he's had enough in Green Bay if Green Bay doesn't give him what he wants. And I'm not
yeah,
talking about money, I'm talking about personnel.
right.
And then number three would be Lamar Jackson, even
Oh,
though that would
yes.
take a year.
Yeah,
So, okay, you brought Tom Brady down here for a year or Aaron Rodgers down here for a year with all of this talent, and you ride it for 1 year. And then after that, when Lamar Jackson plays out his franchise tag and ball, if you think that, if you think for 1 second that Lamar Jackson is not pissed at the Baltimore Ravens, you're fooling yourselves.
he is for sure. He's
Because
pissed.
what he has done for that organization and the Baltimore Ravens as an organization, this is their ammo, right? We've seen it play out before with Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco had to bet on himself, and what happened? Joe Flacco ended up winning the Super Bowl, and so it caught the Baltimore Ravens, so they had to end up paying him. Lamar Jackson is sitting there saying, you guys went through this once before. I know how this is going to play out.
Yeah,
You want me to go and prove. Now, I have no proof of this, no knowledge of this, and I don't even know if it's possible. But there's part of me or a part inside of me that's sitting there saying, you know what? If the Baltimore Ravens had paid Lamar Jackson, he would be playing this week. I have no
yeah.
knowledge of that.
Yeah,
No, like
yeah,
medical
yeah,
information.
yeah,
But if they had paid him
yeah.
this year, he'd be playing this weekend. But they didn't pay him, and he's sitting there saying, you didn't want to take the chance on me? I'm not going out there and put myself on the line,
That's a great. Why,
right?
yeah. Well, why would I risk my future on you guys when you guys are not willing to invest in me? Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
And people want to look at Lamar Jackson and say he's a running quarterback. He's probably going to get hurt. What did he get hurt? He got hurt in the pocket pretty much.
that's a good
He
point.
was attempting a pass. He wasn't out running or anything. When Lamar Jackson is running the football, he's in control for the most part of the hits he's going to take, the contact he's going to have. He's in control of that. And so I always, me personally, I always said, I don't like this narrative that people play about running quarterbacks. I think a running quarterback is more aware of what's going on around him than a quarterback that is sitting in the pocket ready to throw the football. And Lamar Jackson got hurt in the pocket ready to throw the football. So Lamar Jackson being a local kid, you think he doesn't want to come back here and play for the Miami Dolphins and lead them to, success? I don't know how far the success would be, but I know if you put him with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and the rest of the guys on that offense, that's a dangerous thing to have to contend with. So this part of me is saying, and I hate to say that because he's an athlete and I'm sure he wants to compete and he wants to go out there and earn. Okay, you didn't want to bet on me. I'm going to make you bet on me and win games. But I'm sitting there saying, I don't know, this is going to get pretty sticky in
Yeah,
Baltimore. So I go Tom Brady, I go Aaron Rodgers, I go Lamar Jackson. Then I go David Carr. Those are the four. But I really don't think as an organization that the Miami Dolphins could really bank on Tua
yeah.
moving
How do
forward
how do
because
you?
just
Yeah.
you just don't know.
Well, do you know what's ironic though is that they've put themselves in a more difficult position to move on from Tua because early this season they went all in. I mean, they traded a first round pick for Bradley Chubb. Like the Dolphins have operated, and obviously, and I'm glad that they did this, but acquiring Tyreek Hill was another move. We're going all in on the present. I've had some regrets about Bradley Chubb. I don't have any regrets about Tyreek Hill. I think he's been an unbelievable addition. But, they have operated like a franchise that hasn't really had a plan B for, like, what if it doesn't work out with Tua, because they put all their chips on the table at the trade deadline, a month and a half ago, whatever it was. They put all their chips on the table. And now, unfortunately, we have this really ugly concussion situation that's reared its head for the Dolphins, and they've got now less ammunition and less cap space because of that deal for Bradley Chubb to go out and get another quarterback.
Donno, over the years and doing radio and contract issues come up and people talk about, can they afford this guy? They can't do this. They can't do that. I go, I don't worry about that. They pay people upstairs a lot of money to figure it out. So no matter what situation the Miami Dolphins are in right now, they have someone up there that could figure that out. They figured it out, trading my man out there to the Texans and all the first round.
Oh, Laramie Tunsil, yeah.
Tunsil, yes. They worked it out with Tyreek Hill, getting him down here. They worked it out actually bringing Tua in at the number 5 pick. They have always worked it out. And I'm sitting there saying, they're going to work it out again somehow, some way. I don't know what you have to give up. Like on this team, you're sitting there saying, all right, I'm untouchables. Left tackle maybe, but he's been injured.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But I'm not giving up Tyreek. I'm not giving up Waddle. No. Anybody else who you want? Xavier Howard. I hate to say it, but I think that he's at that mountaintop, and I'm not sure which way next season he's going to go, still up or down that mountaintop. I will give up anyone besides those 2 players right there. And the Miami Dolphins.
I definitely want to keep Christian Wilkins. Yeah, they're going to have to pay him.
Yeah.
I want to keep Wilkins. Yeah.
Sealer also. Okay, you can throw him. And Jalen Phillips. All right, so we got 4 guys.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We got 4 guys that are untouchable or should be untouchable. So, okay, you scour our lineup, our roster, and you let us know what you want, but these are the 4 players that you can't have. They're going to work it out.
And Alfredo Arteaga from 3 Yards Per Carry agrees with you. And Brandon Shore is I don't know what his title is, if he's like the business manager, like the CFO or something, but he's the number cruncher, Troy. He's the guy you were talking about. Brandon Shore will figure it out. He says they can free up in excess of $75 million with restructures and cuts. So there you go.
I never ever worry about that.
Yeah.
You want a deal to happen, you'll make a deal to happen. Aaron Rodgers went out of Green Bay. He'll get out of Green Bay. Lamar Jackson wants out of Baltimore. He will get out of Baltimore. Tom Brady wants out of Tampa Bay. He will get out of Tampa Bay.
Wouldn't have to move very far. Doesn't he already have a home in this side of the
Star
coast?
Island?
Brady, he's already got a home. Yeah,
you got one on Star Island, from what I understand.
Before we get out of here on this episode, I do want to put official predictions on record for this Sunday, and I'll take the first bullet, Troy. I will go first before I put you on the spot. Now, okay, so Troy Stradford, I thought, did a logical and eloquent job of laying out the path for an upset, like what has to happen for the Dolphins to pull it off. And, for as beautiful as that was, I still kind of look at this and say the Dolphins kind of have to be perfect this weekend if they're going to slay this dragon that is the Buffalo Bills, who are much healthier and they're at home. And just based on what we've seen from Skyler when he's had his opportunities to play, he looks like a 7th round rookie. And, the Dolphins were able to win last week despite not scoring a touchdown. That, that's not possible this week. So I don't know, Troy. I can't see the Dolphins with Skylar Thompson as the starting quarterback against Buffalo, who's better than the Jets. I don't know if the Dolphins will be able to score more than 13 points this week. So I'm going to go, hate to do it, and I hope I'm wrong. I'm going to go Buffalo 30, Miami Dolphins 13 this week. And, we're going to be setting our tee times in a few days because we're not going to have any Dolphin football to talk about.
I guess I got to start taking up golf because I absolutely suck at it.
I suck at it too. You know what? Maybe we can golf together. Like if we both suck.
That's an idea.
If we both suck, let's just golf
No
together.
pressure.
We'll let people play around us, right? Because obviously, like we're gonna slow up the course, but you can play through. Yeah, we'll do that.
I'll be over in the woods and the bushes and all of that stuff.
I'll be scuba diving for my ball in the water. Yeah,
it's a par 5, and I'm like on 8 on swing number 8. Like, okay, that's how bad I am.
I'm right there with you.
I'm with you. I don't see the Miami Dolphins winning this game. Being a Dolphin fan, I certainly hope they pull up the upset of this football season. And they have to kick the football off. Things can happen. Miami Dolphins, these are two things I see happening for them to win. A strip sack of Josh Allen by either Wilkinson or Seiler, right? Seiler. Strip sack from him. That's one turnover. Right. And then an interception from Josh Allen. I don't know who that would go to. That's 2 turnovers, shortening the game, shortening the field. And the Miami Dolphins have to have those 5 trick plays. And out of those 5, 3 of them can't be the quarterback dropping back to throw. It has to be some form of Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, or running backs taking a snap directly and putting pressure on that Buffalo defense, showing them things that they have never seen before. Those are the way. But if I was a betting man on this game, I will not bet on this game. I would have to go with the Buffalo Bills. The Miami Dolphins, monumental task to go up there and beat. I do like the fact that they gave them until Sunday because we have 2 games on Saturday, 3 on Sunday, 1 on Monday. I like that. They gave them the extra day because they shortened us a couple of days earlier in the season playing on Saturday. I like that the Miami Dolphins have the extra day. The weather is going to be okay. Let's see what happens.
I might even, you talked about not betting on this game. I might go for
Don't do it, Donald.
No, hold on. I might go for the emotional hedge where I bet on Buffalo minus 13.5. And if they win comfortably as I expect them to, I win money. Or if the Dolphins lose, I don't even care that I lost my money because we're going to the next round.
Absolutely. It's a no-lose situation, right?
I might do that. That's what I might do. Plus, I'm known to be such bad luck when I place wagers. I might mush Buffalo. Like if I bet on Buffalo, they're probably going to lose.
Me too. I'm the same way. I have friends that say, Troy, what are you betting? Why? Because I'm going to go the opposite. I'm like, come on.
Yeah. I know how that goes. Oh, and I'm definitely expecting this, by the way. Brian says Hill needs to return kicks, and because he returned the last punt of the game.
Well, that depends on his health again, right?
Oh, yeah.
If he's all right, he absolutely should be a punt returner because that's a big play. And, we didn't even touch on special teams, but we saw what Buffalo did last week.
Yeah.
2 kickoff returns. You can't allow them to even attempt a kickoff return. You can't. And the flip side is you got to put your best players back there on your special teams to try and steal a touchdown somehow, some way, or steal field position.
Yep, I like it. So we will wrap up this episode, and so Troy and I are unfortunately both predicting a Buffalo victory. I've never wanted to be wrong more than I have this week. So good luck, and Dolphin fans, enjoy the game on Sunday. We will be back on Monday to talk about the good or the bad or the ugly, whatever happens this weekend. We will talk about it.
Go Dolphins!
Yes, for Troy Stradford, I am Alex Donno, and make sure. If you're watching the video version of this episode, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to 5 Reasons Sports on YouTube, and keep in mind, there is an audio version Our good friends at 3 Yards Per Carry are nice enough to host our audio feed on their channel, so you can get the extra yard on the 3 Yards Per Carry podcast feed on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. And we will talk to you guys next time on another episode of The Extra Yard, part of the 5 Reasons Sports Network. See ya.
See ya.